Hello everybody! Today I want to talk about grading participation. What is it? What does participation look like? For many years I had participation as 10% of my gradebook. And today I still can't even tell you exactly what I was grading. Participation is very subjective, and we should try to avoid anything subjective in our gradebooks. Let's talk about, what does participation look like? Is it raising your hand? Is it answering questions when the teacher asks? Is it showing up to class on time? Is it having the materials ready? I don't know. It's very confusing. I've seen teachers where you get 10 points just for having paper and a pencil out on your desk. I've seen teachers that only use participation in a punitive way. Everyone automatically gets 10 points every day for participation, except for the students that are being rude or the students that are talking out of turn. And so they didn't get any points. And so participation was just a way to punish some students. We should never use grades as a punitive measure. We should not be punishing students with grades. But let me talk about another scenario. I had a student one year that had select mutism. They sometimes could or couldn't talk. They were actually diagnosed with this. And so this student would sit in class and just stare at me. They would never raise their hand. They would never volunteer any information. They wouldn't come up and talk in front of the class. Their participation in my subjective way of viewing participation was zero, very minimal. They just showed up and sat there. But this student got 100% on every assessment I gave them. Every quiz, every test, 100%. Every assignment, 100%. This student, there's a marine bio class, this student knew everything about marine biology. But when it came to class, they just sat there and stared at me. So if I had a participation grade, maybe I didn't know this about this student, I would be looking at the student as, they don't participate. They're never actively engaged in this class. And so I would be giving them zeros for participation. And that would be wrong. Because you've heard me say this, in my classes, I view a grade as representing how much of the material or how much of that course you understand. And in that case, that student knew 100% of the material. They just weren't comfortable and also had a diagnosis why they couldn't raise their hand or talk or participate in the class. We need to stop grading participation. Participation is just a way to be subjective and give points to the kids we like and take away points from the kids we don't like. And we should not have a section in our grade book for kids we like and kids we don't like. That's not fair, and we shouldn't have that. So I want you to start thinking about it. If you're still using participation grades, I want you to think about it. I used them for a very long time until I started to realize that I was just using it as a punitive measure, or I was just being subjective. And what was happening was extroverts. Some of us are extroverts, and we like to talk. We like to raise our hand. And so are those kids getting better scores than the introverts, the kids that are shy? Maybe you have a really shy student that knows all of the material, but they're just really shy. And so now you're judging them and taking away points for participation when they're just an introvert. I think a lot of teachers are extroverts. Our job requires us to be an extrovert. I love getting in front of people, talking to people. I'm here right now talking to you. And so if you're an extrovert, you look at everybody as though they should be an extrovert. And so looking at your classroom and assuming that all of them should be raising their hand, participating, enjoying discussion, getting up, doing the work, is the wrong way to look at it, because different students have different personalities. All right, everybody, I want you to think about it. And if you're still giving participation points, I want you to do some soul searching as to why you're doing it. I'll talk to you guys later.